Hello, it's Tracy Jackson, also known as the Spiritual Cheerleader, coming to you with the tip this week. We're actually getting further into learning about oracle cards. I wouldn't be able to kind of start this though by before differentiating between what oracle cards are and what tarot cards are. They are different. Just wanting everyone to know. Tarot is a formal structure to it. It's 78 cards generally. It should be, in my eyes, to be true tarot, it has to be the 78 cards. With 56 of those cards being suit cards and 22 cards being kind of the major arcana. So 56 minor arcana, 22 major arcana, and the 56 minor arcana are divided into suits, kind of like playing cards, right? There's a formal structure to it. Tarot readers can typically pick up any tarot deck and understand the meanings of the cards because the cards have a generally accepted meaning based on their suit in the deck and based on the major arcana. It doesn't change, right? Me being a rebellious rule breaker, I needed more than that. I don't want the same message in every deck. I want something different. So that's why I love oracle cards. All right, so now that we've gotten that all the way, we don't have to talk anymore about tarot, and we can go to my fave, oracle cards. All right, so I fell in love with oracle cards because they had no rules. That was really why I gravitated towards them. Plus, tarot was a bit scary for me. I'm going to be quite honest. Coming from my Christian background, tarot, like, you know, that's the one that you see on the movies and everybody, and they always pull the crazy card, and I'm like, ah! So I was like, I mean, even when I got my first tarot deck, which was the Angel Tarot, I was like, yep, I'm a little uncomfortable, right? So fear was the first thing that kind of kept me away from tarot. The second thing was I'm a rebel, and I really like the fact that oracle cards have so many freaking messages. I started with and I mentioned this, I think, last week. I started with the Daily Guidance from Your Angels by Doreen Virtue because I was really comfortable with angels, given my background. And this deck is a really great all-purpose deck. I think this is a great starter deck for those people that are just entering in, who might be a little wary, who might be a little nervous, but are looking to start pulling cards to help with guiding them in their daily life. It covers pretty much everything you could possibly cover in a deck. And they've got really pretty angels on them, right? So I love this deck. It's gotten a lot of use from me. Each card, I think, might even be by a different artist. There's several different artists that are used in this particular deck, but this was my first one. This is the one that I still like go back to tons of times. My absolute fave, like after, you know, starting with the Daily Guidance from Your Angels, I graduated up and I started using different Doreen Virtue decks. I even started dabbling with the her tarot decks, and I enrolled into Oracle School with baron-reid, which is coming up, by the way. The enrollment for Oracle School is coming up, by the way. And it made me, you know, when I enrolled in Oracle School, I had no baron-reid decks. So I wanted to actually try out her deck before, you know, starting school. So they said this was the one we were going to use. So this is the one I got. Lo and behold, you get this deck when you sign up for Oracle School. So probably should have gotten another one because I ended up getting 2 decks. Luckily, I ended up gifting it to a friend, so it all works out. But it was just funny because I was like, oh wow, okay, I have 2 of these decks. But this deck gets a lot of use, and the reason that this deck is one that I love is because that it has 5 different messages. It has your, basic essential meanings of the oracle. It's got the oracle's message. It's got a relationship message, a prosperity message, which can, you can apply to your career or business. And it also has a protection message, which is the message for the card flipped upside down. General all-purpose deck. Love it to death. With oracle decks, there are some oracle decks that are themed on different things. Obviously, daily guidance from your angels, it's going to have angels in it. One of the other theme decks that I have from baron-reid is the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. It's all animals and their kind of symbolic messages for you in the spiritual realm. So many times when one of the things that I learned in Oracle School was the symbolic meanings for various animals, insects, even trees, like common everyday things, but there's some symbolism in them. And so, for instance, if I saw like a bee flying around my window, and I hadn't really been seeing bees, to me, I take that as a message from the bees. So I will many times go to my Spirit Animal Oracle and pull up bee and see like what the message is, because to me that is, he's signaling, hey, go look at that. And I do the same thing with like different birds. I saw a cardinal earlier in the week. I've seen wasp. I've seen like different random things, ants, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, like I never see this, but now all of a sudden I'm seeing it. I take it as a sign. I go to the Spirit Animal Oracle to look for it. But this deck is kind of a directed deck. It speaks to the animal symbolism of the message. And obviously you can pull from this deck every day. I don't typically, but you can pull from this deck every day, and it's going to give you a message very similar to what you would get from Wisdom of the Oracle. You're not going to get as detailed because, like I said, Wisdom of the Oracle has essential meaning, the Oracle's message, the relationship message, the prosperity message, and the protection message. One of the other decks that is kind of themed in that way is the Divine Feminine Oracle, which I love. It really helped me to learn a little bit more about some amazing women who not only are some of them mythological beings who stories we've heard in various religious traditions or in mythology, Greek mythology or Roman mythology or whatever, but some of them have been women that have actually incarnated on earth, and just kind of really learning their stories has been instrumental to me because I'm able to see myself in them and see some of the things that they were going through as being applicable to my life just through pulling the cards. So that's another great deck if you are wanting to learn more. Doreen Virtue has a lot of card decks that have specific purposes. This is the Life Purpose Oracle deck. She's got, the Archangel Raphael deck that's really about healing and health and medicine. And so if you have questions around those areas, you can go to that deck. If you have questions around your life purpose, you go to this deck. If you have questions around past lives, she's got a past life deck. If you got a question regarding, connecting with a deceased loved one, she's got a deck for that. There's decks that are specifically themed around a particular purpose and use. And so some of these are those types of decks. So those types of decks would not be the best to ask general questions because they're specifically purposed to answer questions regarding whatever their theme is, whatever their purpose is. So you have to look towards that. One other thing that I want to speak to is inspiration cards. Inspiration cards are not necessarily like our normal oracle decks. Yeah, you might, be able to kind of glean some type of inspiration for the day or thing that you need to do from the message in a affirmation inspiration deck, but it's not necessarily going to give you the guidance that you need, because it wasn't meant for that. It was really set to, the whole purpose of it was to provide some kind of inspirational message that you could kind of focus on during the day to help, boost your day. It's not necessarily something for guidance. So that makes these inspiration decks a little bit different from oracle decks. Obviously, in choosing a deck, I would say to start off, it's best to choose an all-purpose deck. And as I mentioned, the two of my favorite all-purpose decks are the Wisdom of the Oracle and Daily Guidance from Your Angels. Those are going to be the ones that you really get a lot from. Obviously, card decks are just like anything. They're just like crystals. They're just like clothing. They're just like whatever. Go for what you gravitate towards. But just recognize that, for instance, if I'm gravitating towards life purpose cards, that's all I'm going to get really answers on. I'm not going to be able to pull and say, hey, what do I need to know about my relationship with Joe? Life purpose isn't necessarily going to help you with that. You might be able to glean it, intuitively from the card that you pick, but obviously find a deck that's going to answer the questions that you most often want to know for yourself. And also recognize too that cards are simply a tool. They really reflect you. They have no power without you. So there's nothing in the card that can dictate to you anything that you don't already know, or change anything that you don't already know. It's already there inside of you. It's just reflecting what you already know about yourself and helping you to amplify your energy of reflection to it. So that's one of the things that I really love about cards, is because many times we do know we know. That's why when we get it or pull a card, we're like, yep, I knew it. Like, yep, I knew that. Yep, I do need to work on that. Or yep, I this is an area that I'm kind of feeling right now. We know that. So it's really instrumental to recognize that ultimately you're the oracle, not necessarily the cards. They don't have any power, but they many times can help you to formulate your feelings into words and visuals so that you can understand what it is that you're feeling and understanding. So I hope that this little tip helped you this week in maybe choosing a deck for yourself. Next week, we'll talk about prepping the deck, one of my favorite things that I feel like gets missed a lot. I hope that you'll join me for that. Feel free to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And let me know what your favorite deck is. I would really love to know let's do that. Let's say what's your favorite deck and what was your first deck, to see if they're the same or to see if they've changed over time. All right, have a great one. Bye.